video. So let me get my, oh, no, I don't want to upgrade to Pro. Thank you very much, though. All right, let me see what we got over here on the left to be sure I'm doing something. Anything, YouTube, do anything for me here, buddy. All right. Okay, I see my arm moving. That is a very good sign. So we'll make sure that people are getting the live notification. Hey, Rosie. Hello, Marva. Appreciate you coming. Ooh, sorry for the big noise there. All right. Hey, Faith. Okay, so here's our card for today. Now, it features a very beautiful new suite. It's the Lights of Aurora suite, and that's part of the mini catalog, the September to December mini catalog that just went live. Hey, Stormy. Hi, Susan. Hi, Melissa, Nancy, Becky, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. And it is, it has the Light and Wonder bundle, which is all sentiments, but some really beautiful die cuts with it. You get this, all these die cuts with, so you're going to get a forest and a large forest, and then some mountains and or sky and clouds. And so it's really quite beautiful. And then the Lights of Aurora DSP is a 6x6 DSP pack. And you get 6 or 7 of each of the designs and 48 total packs. And you can see it really truly does look like the Northern Lights. And it's got gorgeous grape and balmy blue and berry burst and blackberry bliss. It's just a pretty set. All right. So we're going to use a little bit of that and a little bit of Light and Wonder and some cardstock, and we're going to make a fun fold. Now, I will credit the lady whose video I followed to get the sizes, and she really never called this anything except a simple and fun fold. And I'm going to call it, but I think it looks like an accordion front flap fold. So that's kind of what I'm going to call it. Accordion is going to be there somewhere in the name. And it truly is pretty simple. It's just some scoring and some folding and some adhering. And then we're going to make a fun little front, a little bit of a forest scene with some window sheet. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. This will all be in my blog tomorrow. And of course, we're using stylish shapes. I say of course because I end up using stylish shapes like on every card. I'm not going to say every single card, but certainly on, well, nearly every card. Okay, so first off, we are going to take... our card base is just 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then I have a piece of Pool Party cardstock at 4 by 5 1/4, and then this is actually going to, I'm going to use this side of this DSP for the card front, and then I'm going to use this side to put on here. So let's go ahead and do a little adhering to get this going. Oh, thanks, Karen. I appreciate it. I don't know about all that, but I thought it was kind of a fun fold, and I will certainly be using the fold again. And not going to kid you, I might have forced this suite on this fold a little bit. You know how you know if you force it? It's because you have to think awfully hard about how to decorate it. The fold is super simple. Figuring out how to decorate it is the fun part. And sometimes you have a suite that just fits perfectly with your fold. And sometimes you have a suite that you have to work at a little bit. And that was this one. So we're going to see what y'all think when I get done. All right. And looks like I might have done a really crappy job cutting that out. Yeah, it's not looking very, very square to me. Something isn't square. Let me see what I got going here. Something isn't square. I'm not square with the world here. So I'm going to put that aside. I will use that on a different one. And I'm going to go ahead and grab another piece of this and cut it again. And perhaps this time I can get it right, because I don't like how that was looking. I didn't like how that was looking right there. So 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Let's see if that looks any better. Oh gosh, yes. Orders of magnitude better. What was that little lesson? Let's pretend I did that on purpose. And I did that to teach you to take a ½ second when you cut your DSP to make sure you are cutting it straight and square. Got to be square with the world. Okay, so there's our card base. And now I'm going to take a 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece, hey Shirley, of pool party, and we're going to do a little scoring, and then we will fold it into our accordion. Let me go ahead and get this out. All right. And we are going to score at, I'm going to do 1.5 over, no. All right, hang on a second. I got to do a little bit of juggling with my computer and the trimmer. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to do 1.5. Then I'm going to do 3. Then I'm going to do 5.5. And then I'm going to go all the way to 8. Like so. Okay. And that should be, if I've done this right, that should be all I need that for. Now, this is going to be the part of the fold that sits on the card base. So then we're just going to fold it as an accordion. Hence my very original name for this, the accordion fold. Hey, Angie. Hi, Glenda. And we'll just take the time to get everything nice and folded. Square. Square is the name of the game on fun folds, unless it's a diagonal, and then, you know, diagonal is the name of the game. All right, so there we go. There's our accordion. Did you heard the polka in there, didn't you? Okay, so that's just going to adhere like so, but let's go ahead and do just a little bit of adhering. But I want to show you how we're cutting this. Let me grab another piece of that DSP since I borked it. I borked it. Well, may not have another piece of that DSP, because why not? All right, I think I'm not going to be able to use, let me see if I've got another one in here. Hang on just a second, guys. There we go. All right. I could use the one with the glue on it, but it's still got wet glue, so nah, not going to do that. Okay, now, in order to keep my design the same going across, here's how I did this. All right, I decided I wanted it to be this orientation, so the first thing I did is I cut it across the bottom at 4 1/8, because each of these is 4 1/8 inch long. So I just cut the bottom at 4 1/8. And this is going to be a perfect piece for my sentiment, so I'm hanging on to that. All right. Now I'm going to cut 1 3/8. Another 1 3/8. That's for the middle panel. And then a 2 3/8. Okay. 2 3/8. Try to get it straight, Mary. Okay. And then this is just extra. You can use it for another thing. So these are going to be our 3 panels across the front. The center panel is going to be basic white. So I will get a piece of basic white since I did not get one of those to begin with. Let's see if I got enough here. We're going to need 2 3/8 by 4 1/8. Nope, that's 4. Hang on. Oh, wait, let me see if I can get... No, I can't. Hang on a minute. I'll get another piece of white. Here we go. Gee-mini. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay, so 2 3/8 by 4 1/8. Like that. And that's going to be the sentiment panel. And then our back panel is going to be 2 7/8 wide by 4 1/8 long. So here's what I did. This is my design. So I want this portion of it. So I'm going to turn it around like this and cut 2 7/8. Save that for later. And then 4 1/8. Okay. And what that's going to do is it's going to kind of continue that design like so. So it's really going to look like, except that doesn't look right, does it? Jiminy Christmas, what did I just do? Huh. Oh, Well, you probably did that. There we go. Like that. And then we'll have our white piece, and then we'll have our back. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and start adhering that on. Hey, Suzette, appreciate you coming. Okay, here we go. Let me be sure I'm putting these on the right way. It's always a bummer when you take the time to keep your design in check and going straight, and then you kind of bork it at the last second. That's never a good thing. It's really actually kind of discouraging. So, but we shall make it work. Double check. Yep. Okay. Hey, Dina. Appreciate you coming. All right. So my husband is busy unpacking a box where, y'all maybe don't know, my van, my 2015 van, a couple of years ago got totaled. And since then, I have been driving our older Ford pickup truck. And it's a great truck. I love it. It's just a great truck. But it's from 2003. So, you know, guess how many bells and whistles it has? That would be correct. Not very many. Up to and including no nav system. Now, I do like to use a nav system, and I have been known to use the nav system on my phone to help me get around, but I thought it would be fun to upgrade just a little bit so that we would have a nav system. So he's got the nav system, and while we were at it, we decided we'd put a backup camera, and then we decided we'd put a dash camera, because if we'd had a dash camera when the accident happened, we'd have been much easier off in the fixing it up department and getting things taken care of. But, so we've got all of that. He's got it all in a box, and I'm trying to persuade him to read the directions. If any of you are married, possibly you understand what a task that really is. It's not easy, I'm just saying. Okay, so let's go ahead and make our center sentiment, and then we can make our front, okay? So for the center sentiment, I'm using Thank You from the Light and Magic set, and I am going to stamp it in Gorgeous Grape, right about where you would think a sentiment would go, right, you know, roughly right there. There we go. And then I'm going to take a black forest that I die cut ahead of time. No, they do not. They do not read directions. And so then they try to do step 7 before they do step 2, based on the idea that possibly all the steps have the same importance and you can just do them whenever it suits you, which is actually not really all that true all the time. So I'm attempting to persuade him to read that. All right, before you guys came, I took a 1 3/4 inch tall by 6.5 inch wide piece of basic black, and using the smaller of the 2 forest dies, I cut this out. So you can see what it does. It does not cut out. You have to have your cardstock the exact size that you wanted, if that's what you want, and then you will be ready to go. Okay, so let me get this. What I'm going to do here is just trim the edges, and I'm going to go straight up like that, and then I'll go straight up on this end as well, like that. And then I have this little die cut forest. Isn't that so pretty? I love it. I don't know if you know this about me, but I really love silhouettes of things, particularly silhouettes of trees. I am a very big silhouette tree fan. I know, just exactly. If there's any leftover parts, well, you know, that was probably just the engineers trying to cover their bases and not get in trouble or get sued or anything like that. And if all of the functions don't work, well, you know, it's better than it was, right? Okay. All right, so for these, what my plan is to adhere those right across the bottom, and then I'll just trim the excess. But I am going to go ahead and pre-trim that right there. So it'll be a little shorter than the rest of it, but that's okay too. And to do this, I thought it would be fun to try using my little silicone mat. I'm going to use this later too, so it won't be wasted. And a sponge, just to get, put it on the back, Mary. Just to get a little bit of glue on those trees to adhere. probably need a little more glue. Don't be so skosh, Mary. My goodness. Be a little more generous with your glue. There you go. I know. Oh, good, Jean. I'm glad you you ordered this. This, I have never seen, for all the times that I have been to Alaska, I have never seen the Northern Lights in person. So this is as close as I've come. And I really want to see them one day. I guess that means I have to go to Alaska in the winter, not in the summer. But I'm not a big fan of, you know, the cold. So that's probably not going to happen anytime soon either. So I'll be enjoying them vicariously on my card. Okay, and now we can adhere this to the inside of the card base. I think I'll just go ahead and trim that off. Since I can see it, it must mean it's too long. So we'll just give that a little trim right there, and then adhere it on the inside. And then we'll be almost ready to decorate the front, which is just going to be some embossing. So everybody be thinking good thoughts to the gods of, oops, probably ought to put that in right side up, or it'll be an upside down accordion front fold card. Weird, which would be even weirder. Okay, there we go. Now this one is going to do the same thing. And I'm just going to cut him off like right here. And it's okay if he's not as long, I think. I don't mind it being a little bit short, so hopefully you won't either. Thanks, Debbie. I don't know where I saw this, on some random video somewhere, I'm sure. You know, a little reel or something that I don't remember seeing, but I remember, I don't know when and where I saw it, but I remember seeing it, basically. Okay, and we'll put that aside. And then I'm going to square this up with the outside. Okay, because that's where the square is on the die cut. There we go. Yes, you're thinking to yourself, man, Mary, that would have been a lot easier to do that one before you put it in too. And you are correct. It would have been. So, you know, when you go to make this, I highly recommend that you don't be like me. Put it in before you assemble your card. Okay? So that's it. Okay, okay. So there is our fold. And now let's go ahead and decorate. We'll make our decorations for the front. Okay. We're going to need this again. What I did before you came is I cut out using the largest stylish shapes, easy for you to say, stylish shapes circle die, the largest one. I cut out a basic black, and then I cut out, I actually cut out two in case I screw it up, 2 pieces of window sheet, all right? And here's what we're gonna do. I don't know if you can see this, but the window sheet is supporting my forest, and it's also giving me a place for my stars, okay? So that is our plan. My plan is to go to my cutting machine, Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm going to cut this right about there, okay? Really, I just want to have room along here to put my URA and then my sentiment, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out right now. Don't leave. Don't leave. Please don't leave. I heard just right then my head saying, "Don't cry for me, Argentina," which doesn't make any sense in any way, shape, or form. But it's what I heard in my head, okay? So there you go. It's what I heard in my head. All right. And when we are done with this, we'll just take off the top. Gently, 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 gently. There we go. And you can see we have our forest again, this time in a circle. Now, you don't have to make a pop-up like I'm doing, but this circle is kind of a fun idea. Put it in the back of your head and be remembering it. You never know when you might need a circular forest. One just never knows these things, does one? No. Okay. getting our hanging chads out. And before I adhere this, just in case I screw it up, I know you're thinking to yourself, Mary, you never screw anything up. But if you have been watching this video channel for any length of time, you know that would be an inaccurate thing to say entirely. Okay, so now while I am doing my embossing and being a little bit scared because you know, things work fine when you're doing it by yourself, and then when you're doing it on camera, not always so much. I'm going to do all of my embossing right now. So to begin with, I'm going to take that piece. Remember that one piece we cut off the bottom of our DSP? I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to scrub those pretty good with my embossing buddy and give that a good pat too. And then I'm going to stamp, let me get this open. And I am going to stamp this hopefully right side up. This says URA, and I'm going to put this right about there. And I'll sprinkle that while it's still wet with white. This is from the Wow Basics embossing powder. And if you haven't tried the Wow, you really should, because it is quite white, which is a wow. Okay, so that can sit quietly for just a minute. And then I'm going to stamp Wonder. So we're going to have URA Wonder. And this is going to be stamped on this piece in Versamark, right in the middle. Okay. And we'll cover that up, set it aside, and get this sprinkled and see what I did. Directions, exactly. What directions? I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, so did you read the words? It's got pictures. I said, oh, okay. Okay. Super. And the truth of the matter is he can probably actually put it in without any directions, but I'm a directions girl. I like directions, and I feel like if you do step 2 and then 3 and 4 and 5 in that order, somebody has come up with the right way to do it. But if you do step 7 before you do, oh shoot, fire, before you do step 6, then sometimes the thing you did in step 6 is what got you ready for step 7, if you know what I mean. Okay. I had a little bit of a borkish there, so I had to fix it. I think I might need a new 99-cent brush, possibly. I think I might need a new 99-cent brush. Okay, so let's see what we got. Hopefully we'll have 2 nice embossings. And we're going to use the high setting on our heat tool, just until we see everything start to turn shiny and bright. I see you tonight. That's not a real song, but it's okay. Okay, that one turned out okay. I can take it, and then we'll do Wonder. The cool thing about the Stampin' Up! Heat tool is you have 2 settings, high and low. The high is great for heat embossing like we're doing here, but the low is great for just helping, oh, I don't know, like tuxedo black dry, or getting your watercolor paper to dry without really just heating it up terribly. Okay, so we have 2 good images. I'm going to let this one set aside for just a second while it cools before we die cut it. Now this one is going to be adhered to this piece of acetate. So let's pull out our silicone mat again, put a little bit of liquid glue. Now, using this technique when you are adhering acetate makes it so that it's not so visible. You can't really see it from the back, which is always a good thing. So we'll put a little bit of liquid glue there. One underestimates the amount of liquid glue one might need to do this technique. And by one, I mean, you know, me. me. I underestimate it every single time. So, but this also helps to keep the glue from making a mess on your acetate. Okay. All right, and we'll pick that up, put this aside so I don't make another mess. And we're going to put this, line it right up on our circle of acetateness, and give it a little pushy push. A little pushy push. Slide it down. Wasn't quite where I wanted it. That's all right. It's clear. Be hard to see. But see, you really can't see the adhesive. It's going to dry. Right now it's just wet, okay? So that works out really well. Let me go ahead and put a couple of stars on. I'm using the faceted snowflakes. They're new. And they're snowflakes, but I just think they look enough like stars to be a very nice substitute. So we'll put one there. We'll put one up here. And if you really love them, put an extra 12 or 13. It'll be okay. All right, there we go. Now, we'll hold that. I'm going to take this and I'm going to use the this die right here to cut out my sentiment. So I shall be right back. All right, hang tight. Be right back. I'll be right back. Stay tuned for a note from our sponsors. A word from our sponsors. Okay. And I'm just lining this up. It's a barely fitter kind of a thing. So I'm making sure I get it lined up, and then I'm holding it down with a sticky note so it doesn't wiggle. Because if it wiggles, I got to cut another piece. I got to do another embossing. It'll be a whole thing. We'll have dogs sleeping with cats. But it worked out, and there we go. Put this back on its die magnet. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to adhere this to our fold, okay? And I think I'm going to go ahead and adhere it onto my card base, and then we'll go ahead and assemble it. What did Amy say? I'd have already glued myself to the sponge and the grid. Well, it was a near thing. I'm just saying it was a very near thing. All right, we're going to use liquid glue. We're almost to the end of the giant bottle of Tombow. It's lasted a long time. All right, so just hold it together. Make sure you put it on right side up, wrong side down. And just center it on the card base and make it as straight as you can. Straight is good. There are times when straight is not what you're looking for, but this is not one of those times. All right, now, in order to adhere this, what you want to do is a little bit of dry fitting, because you want that centered, but you also want it with your sentiment straight, okay? Then we're going to put this right here as such. Okay, so right in here, I'm going to put liquid glue on the back of right about to the left of that star, and a little bit on those trees. That's it, okay? Nowhere else. All right, so a little bit to the left of the stars, and I'm just going to stay where the black is covering, okay? Because one, if you put it out where the black is not covering, you'll see it. And two, if you go too far that way, you're going to be holding your accordion together, and then it's just going to be really thick card front on the front thing, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get that adhered like so. Give it a second to take. And while it is taking, what I do when I want to hold something down is I'll grab a block. Let's go ahead and make our bow and put it on. We've got some new black and white and gold baker's twine, which is my new favorite. You can probably tell because I think I've used one or the other of them on every card since it came out, because I am obsessed by it apparently. We're just going to do a double, just going to use 2 lengths to make a simple bow. Oh no, I have now got Don't Cry for Me, Argentina in my head. Dang it, Jim. Okay, so when you make your bow, you're gonna want it to go on kind of like that. So you want it to be big enough that it shows, and that appears to be what we need. So we'll cut this off. Yes, all the directions will be on tomorrow, and it is going to be part of, I'm on the design team for Creative Creases, so Creative Creases has a new challenge coming out on Friday, which is tomorrow, and I would encourage you, please come and submit your fun folds for us. Let us see your pretty work. Creative Creases is all fun folds all the time. That is absolutely the only requirement, and you can make it be whatever fun fold you like. I am putting the glue dot on there, and then I am going to adhere my bow like so. All right, now I'm going to adhere with double stacked dimensionals, and I have some of these black ones. I'm still trying to get these black ones gone. There's like 1 billion of them, possibly 1,000,000,005. I don't know, there's a lot. And we're gonna go, that may be too high. I think this one's gonna be too high. So what I'll do here, since I kind of know roughly where it's gonna be, is I'll put a couple of dimensionals on there to get around my bow. And then, and you know what? This guy needs to be a little bigger. Doo-doo. I want you bigger, Loop. Come on, Loop. Come on, Loop. Don't be such a pill. How about if I pick him up off of his glue dot and make him bigger, like he's supposed to be. Do 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 do. I need to remember my own advice. It's paper, and in this case, twine, and so make it do what you need it to do. And if it gets annoying enough, get another piece. It's just paper and twine. Okay, let's try that again. I'm gonna put it down a little bit too. There we go. All right, let's see if that's what I want it to look like. Oh yes, that's a much mo better. That is a much mo better. Put you back there. Get our lids off, and then we'll put the double stack on. And then once you get it adhered where you want it, you can slide another double stack in from the inside out or the outside to the inside using your tweezers, and you'll get everything where you want it to be. That's right. Yes, it is a blog challenge. So in the same way, freshly made sketches, hand stamped sentiments, Sunday stamps, our only difference is that projects are for fun folds. It's a fun fold challenge. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get this on, and I am centering this. Okay, so I'm centering it left to right and giving that a little pushy push, and then I'll go ahead and grab me another couple of double stacks of the dimensionals like this. You know, these tweezers, I truly don't know how anybody, I don't know how anybody does without tweezers. I just can't. Well, I get a little bit of a panic knot in my throat just even thinking about it. So if they ever stop making them and then I break one, I'll probably have to quit. I'll just probably have to quit. Now, can I get one under there? Oh, I can. See how that worked out so that I can put them on afterwards and kind of avoid, they won't be seen, and I can avoid my ribbon bow, my twine bow. Twine bow. That's like Tim Twinebow. Isn't he a football player? No, I'm kidding. It's Tim Tebow, Mary. You silly girl. Okay, so there's our card, y'all. I mean, that's it. It went from not done to done in about one Stampin' dimensional. And there you go. So what do you think? Is accordion front flap fold about right? Let's go ahead. Now, there are no images in this stamp set, so I did not put anything on the stamp, on the envelope on the front. All I'm doing is putting a little bit of the adhesive of the DSP on the back. And we all know that Auroras can go almost any way, so I'm going to put it on a little bit sideways. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you like it. I hope you'll make this fun fold because it's super easy. Is it going to take more postage? Well, 1000% it will. Definitely. So the post office is going to love you. But there are so many sentiment combinations that you could really, it would be great for Christmas or, you know, whatever. So we've got, may your day be filled with wonder or magic, wishing you a year of wonder or magic. Embrace the light, embrace the love, wishing you a year of love. So lots of mix and match sentiments, which is always kind of fun, I think. And then, of course, the die set has the beautiful forest and clouds. It's like clouds and sky is the other set of dies in there. All right, I'd like to point out there was no fussy cutting except for this one on this card. Okay, so all those ones where I fussy cut like 12 leaves, this makes up for it completely. Okay, so there you go. Wonder, the Light and Wonder stamp set and coordinating dies, and then the Lights of Aurora DSP, all brand new, all in the new mini catalog, and I hope you will try it. I also hope you'll be back on Saturday. I do not know what we're going to make. It could be a fun fold, maybe possibly, but I hope you'll come and see. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great rest of your week. Ta.